It's hard to imagine how Australia's banks will ever fully recover their reputations in the wake of the Banking Royal Commission. Today was D-Day for Australia's largest bank, with the Commonwealth CEO, Matt Comyn, the first boss to give evidence. Whistleblower Jeff Morris exposed corrupt practices at the Commonwealth Bank that helped lead to the Royal Commission. He spent today in the public gallery at the hearing in Sydney.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence that I shall give will be the truth.
Thank you very much, Mr. Comyn. Do sit down.
CBA has acknowledged to the Commission that in recent years it's engaged in a range of misconduct and conduct that fell below community standards and expectations.
Yes, that's right.
You say that CBA has not consistently prioritised customer interests nor properly appreciated the duties owed to and the impact of actions on your customers.
Yes, that's right.
So at the moment there's no plan as to how to comply with Recommendation 18?
Not that I can... No, there is not. There is not.
Why is that, Mr. Comyn?
Well, we're wondering what might be recommended from the Commission.
Oh, you're waiting for us.
You seem to be probing in the right areas. Yes.
Jeff Morris, you've been listening to the testimony today. What stood out to you?
Well, today was, I guess, mostly about one of the themes that they picked up on, which is the remuneration, the culture of bonuses that led to basically the banks losing their heads and chasing sales at the expense of everything else, which is what's led to all the disasters across the industry over the years.
And from what you heard today, it was the Commonwealth Bank. Did they accept that that was a contributing factor and that it needs to change? Yes, they certainly have. But on the other hand, they're showing some reluctance to make substantial changes away from the culture of bonuses. So they're still trying to cling on, but they accept that they have to be reduced. One thing that we've heard quite a bit of over the course of the Royal Commission, and you had this experience yourself, was that in some cases junior staff or middle-ranking staff would raise concerns and they would go unheeded by senior management. Why do you think that happened? Well, I guess it happened because what was going on was no accident. There was a system that was designed and a remuneration system that was designed to encourage people to do whatever they had to do to make their bonuses. So anybody raising questions about that, it was basically unwelcome news. And people were actually told it would be better for them to keep their mouths shut. So, and of course, when things go wrong, then the senior management push all the blame down the line and they say some employees let them down, did the wrong thing. We're very disappointed, we're terribly sorry. But in reality, there were a lot of junior people who were very uncomfortable with what they were being basically forced to do. And not just to earn a bonus, even just to hang on to their jobs. And they've been constantly bullied to do things that they just weren't comfortable with. Matt Comyn has been the boss at the Commonwealth Bank for most of this year now. He was giving testimony for much of today. Has what you've seen or heard from him persuaded you that he is the right person to change the bank's culture? Well, look, to be honest, Lee, I don't know. It's very hard to tell. He's certainly saying some encouraging things, but you know, a few years ago we had the then Managing Director and Chairman of CBA saying that they wanted to be known as Australia's most ethical bank, and the scandals just continued. So I don't think you can actually judge these people by what they say. I think you have to judge them by what they do. The Royal Commission has uncovered quite a few examples of banks failing to understand reputational risk and exactly what was at stake. Given how important reputation is to banks, how did that culture take a hold? Well, I think it was because the industry basically lost its head. And this occurred, I think, because of a regulatory vacuum. And that's another main theme of the Commission that will be explored in the next couple of weeks, was the complete failure of the regulators to regulate the banking industry. And it's a case of when the cat's away, the mice will play. So the banks then felt able to put in place these ridiculous structures where they were chasing sales at all costs to try and earn bonuses, beat the other guys. When the Royal Commission is done and dusted, do you believe ultimately that any individuals will be held responsible for what's happened?
The institutions themselves are saying sorry, and that seems to be where it's ending. And when you contrast this with the Child Abuse Royal Commission, the thing that was really powerful there was that both the perpetrators and the victims told their stories, and they were told many times over. So the problem is, with individuals not being held to account, I don't think the lessons are being driven home to anywhere near the degree that they need to be if there's going to be meaningful change in this industry.
Jeff Morris, thank you.
Thank you.
And since Matt Comyn became CEO of the Commonwealth Bank, 730's repeatedly invited him to join the program for an interview. He continually declines. We'll keep trying.